Hey, what's up, people? What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Swish Masters Podcast. I am your co-host, QtheGuru, and here with me is. Go ahead.
This is Zay, the executive producer here, checking
Yep.
in.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna let you take the floor, man. We had just saw the end of a rough game, tough game in the Western Conference play-in finale. Q, take it away, man.
Pull up the single cam real quick, man. All right, people. In our preview of this game, I figured my team would have a chance, and it was looking good early on in the ball game. We're very competitive. Blue Dart still shooting the three wide open, making it. It's a good sign. SGA had a slow start again, but I was very confident that he'll come out in the second half blazing. We were only down within 10. We were within range to come back and win the game. So I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm like, okay, maybe the Timberwolves going to Timberwolves. Yeah. So then the second half started, and the Wolves kept up their momentum. I was actually impressed with the Timberwolves. I actually was. They played smart. They ain't making any dumb decisions. But like a totally different team from the team I've been watching the past couple games in. This is like a Timberwolves team is like, okay, y'all have a shot. I'll give y'all a puncher's chance to compete in the playoffs. So anyway, shout out to the Timberwolves, and yeah, there's a lot I can go about this game, but I don't really feel like I'm tripping right now. I don't even feel like talking right now a whole lot, honestly. Just the way it ended, man. Just some bad taste in your mouth, bro.
Yeah.
At least for me, it is.
No, definitely understand, man. It was going into it, I expected a pretty fierce battle throughout the entirety of the game, and just seems like the Thunder kind of ran out of steam at the wrong time. Early on, like you said, Shea kind of struggled to get going. Josh Giddey couldn't get it going. Minnesota, and credit to them, they surprised me. They seemed to be focused, locked in, and for once, I think this is, every time we mention this about the Timberwolves, I've said this, Karl Anthony Towns actually went into the paint and was able to score and come up big tonight for the Timberwolves. Also, the return of Rudy Gobert provided that extra layer of defense. He was able to make an impact on the game, which I came out and said he probably won't.
Yeah, I said that was my worry, and it turned out to be true.
Yeah,
because I was like, we like to score in the paint. The Shade likes to score in the paint. So
yeah.
The Timberwolves were just a better team.
They
were
just
a better team. They were just a better team. That's at the end of the day, that's what it was. So I
got to give them credit, man. They played an overall good balanced team basketball game, and it's unfortunate, man, because I was rooting for OKC. Then Shea got his injury, like got hit in the face pretty bad, which is tough. So
He did, but no call. You're not even gonna review the play. I'm like, okay, clearly they're gonna review the play, right? And then at first I was like, okay, because I didn't know the extent of the damage till he came back out. I was like, oh, this dude got hit in the face for real. At first, you know how sometimes you bait to try to get the call,
yeah,
right? But for the ref not even to call it though, to not even go back to review it, like, come on. But it's okay though. It's one of those things that didn't really have a major outcome on the game or anything. It probably would have helped. It probably would have helped with the momentum maybe a little bit, but
for sure. Yeah, they could just kind of at the end got away from him, and shout out to Soda for handling business. I didn't expect them to, and we'll see how they do versus Denver in the first round.
Yep. So since OKC was eliminated, we have to touch base on the future for them since they're officially out of the playoffs. Well, yeah. So OKC is a real good spot. They defied a lot of expectations. You know, everyone thought this was a team that was tanking. As you all remember, I was assuming we were tanking as well. I was like, all right, Chet's hurt. Might as well. Let's go ahead and try again the Wembayama sweepstakes. But you know, Sam Preston had so many picks. I mean, it's crazy. So I just assumed we'd be tanking as well. This is coming from an OKC fan. So I was very pleased as a fan to see that the team was like, no, we ain't gonna do that. They actually played really well, and I was so impressed with this young team. They show so much maturity and poise throughout this run. All eyes are gonna be on the Thunder in the future. Like, do not count the OKC Thunder out. They'll be a dangerous team. If Chet turns out to be like who we think he'll be, and if he gets back healthy, you know, it's gonna be a dangerous squad very quickly. So, especially how the West is right now. So,
absolutely, got a young, talented group, man. I know that. Obviously, first half of the season, you were on the tanking trend, on the tanking teamwork, but they refused to, and I like that. But looking at the future, obviously Chet's gonna come back hopefully this summer and be good to go. And
don't play any pro-am games or nothing, sir. Just get back healthy. You can practice on your own, get your conditioning. I don't even see no summer league stuff this year. Not this time.
Get healthy, get ready for the upcoming year, man, and just strengthen your body. And then as far as the rest of the team, Sam Presti, genius when it comes to these draft picks. I'm sure he could utilize them to finesse other trades to get other players and make moves. I feel like they're going to build on this success. Shea obviously is going to be a first. To me, he should be all NBA at least. So I feel like they build around him, and Chet becomes who we all think he will be, and keep on building through the draft and making some moves. They'll be fine. I can see them being a solid team next year and probably pushing that boundary of what they did this year, being better. So I think it'll be fine. It'll be an interesting offseason for sure, though.
Yes, it will. It definitely will. I'm excited to see what we're going to do because we still have a good young core. Again, all the draft picks in the world. So, and we have cap flexibility too. So, if there's some free agents, veterans we can get, we can do that if you want to. So, yeah. Just see what Sam Presti does. I fully trust him. So, yeah. If I can get OKC a championship.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go to the earlier game from the night. I know you're excited as a Heat fan. They were totally opposite team of what we saw last time out. And I'm gonna let you take the floor here, man.
Man, I gotta give credit where credit is due. And this shout out to the kid from Illinois himself. Shout out to Max Strus, man. Next man up mentality. Shout out to Max Strus. 30-piece in a game facing elimination. And I'm not gonna lie, man. It was rough. Me and my wife were watching the game, and both of us just yelling at the TV, trying to figure out what's going on. But they stuck it out. Of course, the Butler did it again. You know, Jimmy Butler coming through in the clutch. Also a finalist for Clutch Player of the Year, by the way. Just gonna say that. But shout out to the Miami Heat for sticking it out. We definitely improved on the rebounding effort from the previous game, which was horrendous. I saw a lot of people crashing the boards. By halftime, we were all tied up with the number of rebounds, field goal percentage. It was a pretty hard fought game. There were some times where we had some defensive lapses, which are concerns that we're going to need to address, especially going to this first round series where we were playing. But for sure, I'm happy that we're able to secure this win, and we get to move forward, try to fight for another advancement into the playoffs and go further. We got a tough road ahead of us, so of course, happy to be in the playoffs, but also got to get this job done if we're gonna be where we want to be. We're a good team and just have to play the right way, effort 100% of the way, and do what we have to do, man. So I'm happy we got the win.
Yeah, it was a good win. Jimmy went off. Shout out to him. And we talked about it, you need somebody else to step up and help out, and that person was Max Strus. Started the game hot. So Bam, he was a major factor on the rebounds, but I think we all expect a little bit more from Bam.
Absolutely.
I don't know how you feel about Bam right now, man.
I wasn't particularly impressed with his performance for this game. He's our number 2 guy, and we need him to be able to have an impact on both ends of the floor. He's a vital part of what we do,
right,
on offense and defense. Being able to knock down his mid-range jumpers, or being aggressive, getting to the free throw line, finishing at the rim, being a pick and roll threat, stuff like that. That's very important for what we do as a team. Tonight, he couldn't really get it going on offense. But down the stretch, he made a big play on defense that had me hyped. I love defense. I love the effort on defense. I love to see block steals and turn that into offense. That's what's fun for me. He had a huge block down the line that made up for a lot of the plays that he couldn't make on offense. But I definitely need, if we're going to be successful, we're going to need him to really be on point, to be just engaged and focused, and being able to have a bigger impact than what he was doing tonight. Obviously, the rebounds, of course, I'm appreciative of that. But if you're going to be a superstar in this league, you have to come out and show it every single night, compete, go hard. And even if, it's a hard shooting night, you find other ways because of the type of player that you are. You're a two-way center/guard, and he's a facilitator. On top of that, being able to score, create shots, create offense, create opportunities. That's what we need from Bam, especially going forward. So I know he knows that. Got to lock in and get ready for this next one.
And going to the Bulls side of things, the Bulls actually were up late in the stretch of the game, and could not buy a bucket at all. So
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit of a meltdown they're in too, because they to work all that to come back, right?
Yep.
And then just to not get it going. So at the end of the day, the Bulls are not in the playoffs, despite how good we think their roster is constructed. I think we both think they have a decent roster. They shouldn't be like out.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some changes for sure in Chicago. Solid stat. Like they haven't advanced from the first round of playoffs since like 2014 when they had D Rose, Jimmy Butler. I was like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. And to be just a mediocre team like this. Yeah. So honestly, I don't know what they can do. It's like either go get a free agent, a big acquisition to really help you, but at the same time, I don't even know what they really just need like that because they're pretty much covered, unless you get more depth, I guess. But at the same time, I'm like, I know Lonzo is a factor though. I feel like Lonzo could make an impact, but at the same time, it's just like players gotta step up too. So there's really no excuses.
Yeah. For Chicago, Lonzo would make a big difference if he was out there and he was healthy. That's not the case, obviously. But when I look at their team, when they have DeRozan, they have LaVine, and those guys were honestly had me scared for a second. I was like, man, these dudes they got it going. DeRozan was hitting shots. LaVine was getting out in transition, making shots. Thankfully, they kind of like fizzled towards the end. Man, we were able to make a couple key stops down the stretch. But looking at their roster as they're constructed, Pat Bev, Caruso, they have capable wings. And even with Vucevic, he was getting that Bam. His size bothered him, as well as Andre Drummond. Like when he came in, it was just like, man, we can't get a rebound. I'm like, oh my god, I'm having PTSD over here. I'm like, oh,
yeah, I predicted that. But y'all held it. Like y'all brought the hustle tonight, so that wasn't really.
Yeah. But to address their team, I think if they manage to keep both LaVine and DeRozan and pretty much retain the team as is, they need to add some shooting because Pat Bev is not a bad shooter necessarily, but he's not just a specialized 3-point shooter. I feel like with those type of guys that they have within DeRozan, if you're going around building around DeRozan and LaVine, those guys are shot creators in their own right. So of course
DeRozan, they mid-range assassin.
But when they go on ISO, they need to be able to have the space, and you need to have another threat on the floor at least to be able to give them the opportunity so they can create something for themselves. Or if you collapse the defense down on them, now they have a little bit more shooting to go to, kind of like what the Bucks have, and Middleton and Drew. They have 3-and-D guys, but they have like proven shooters, I guess. Like that's what I would say. Kind of years ago when they had like Kyle Korver and guys like that in those runs in the playoffs that they had, D-Rose and everything. They need some floor spacing basically. Depth is always a good thing, but if anything, they add shooting. That's the name of the game these days. Shooting is very important, and I don't feel like they have a lot. They got some help in Kobe White, of course, but there's just one guy off the bench. Caruso was great, but he's not like a. They need a proven shooter, kind of similar to what we talked about with the Lakers this season. They needed somebody who could alleviate that type of like offensive gap. You know what I mean? So we'll see if they can make a change in that regard, or if they make another change with one of the major pieces that they have, which I wouldn't be surprised about. So,
all right. So if you had to choose, would you just try to keep it going, or would you just blow it up and rebuild? Like, and before you even answer, I want you to know this. Like, you had DeRozan, who was an All-Star this year. Zach LaVine, who is known as an All-Star. He didn't make it this past year, but you know he is like an All-Star caliber player.
mm-hmm.
Don't even make the playoffs. So what do you think? Blow it up, or try to keep it moving? Make some additions.
It's tough because those guys are good, and like I said, even in this latest game, they had stretches where they were just really capitalizing on offense, like DeRozan, mid-range master, just killing it, and LaVine also being able to get his own shot, just crazy. So if it was me, I personally would try to keep them. I wouldn't want to blow it up, because now I feel like that's kind of, I don't want to go into a rebuild, because it's like they're right there. You know, if they can find the right combination, I feel like it could work. It's just right now, Lonzo being out is a big part of it, because they don't really have a playmaking point guard, for one, and then two, like I said, they just don't have a constant shooting threat. Patrick Williams is not a bad player, but he's not a shooter by any means. He's just kind of a stretch wing who's not really a knockdown shooter like that.
Yeah, he's not a sharpshooter, but he's a stretch, like you said. Vucevic is like saying he can stretch the floor, but he's not like a.
It's not at the volume that they need.
Right.
To me.
Okay,
so
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to rebuild in this, because you like you said, these guys are all-stars at the end of the day. So and
I feel like Dosunmu can like develop even more, like and get. I feel like he has potential to be like a sharpshooter that they can use.
Yeah,
but he just has to improve. All right, so yeah, that's one option. They can improve. The players can improve and try to sign some pieces. I'll say this though: if they do that, and they still don't get in, I say blow it up. Before even that, this year. I'm trying to get to a happy medium, because I'm like, maybe it's the coach.
It's possible.
Because this roster is, they should not be out of the playoffs. That's my thing. I don't care what roster you got. I know, like this roster like this, they've been better coaching. They'd be firmly in the playoffs.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, like, okay. Well, I agree with you. See if they can make another run at it. If not, definitely blow it up. If not blow it up, definitely get another coach, because that's not working. Billy Donovan is officially on the hot seat for me. That's what that means. I mean, he has to be. Like, for me, he is. Do you think
you got to change something? They have these two guys, and I feel like they should be
all-star caliber players.
Yeah, they should be better than where they've been at past couple seasons.
Decent benching unit. Kobe White, Caruso. Ask Caruso. Like, come on.
Drummond.
Hey, come on. Like, there's no way it should not be out in the playoffs like this. So, but good run, good effort. Shout out to the Heat. Y'all get done.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about tomorrow's. Well, we'll begin our discussion on part one of our playoff preview. We're gonna start with the first game that's be going on. Right. Playoffs officially start tomorrow, man. It's official. And we got a good one. We got the Nets and the Sixers. And a little bit of drama heading into the game a little bit. I don't know if you saw NBA Twitter recently between Kyle Kuzma and Spencer Dinwiddie.
Oh yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
Long story short, Kyle Kuzma was hoping the Sixers beat the Nets, basically. End of the day. I would say some people's feelings got hurt about this Twitter exchange, but it's funny. All right. Anyway, Nets Sixers, man. We got an MVP finalist in Joel Embiid leading the Sixers squad against the Nets, who still made the playoffs. Shout out to the Nets and Jacque Vaughn. Still make the playoffs, like for real. And firmly in the playoffs. So the Nets clearly have the depth for me. They have depth. Ben Simmons is out. So let's not get started there.
Yeah, we have to save that.
Can you imagine Ben Simmons playing this series against the Sixers in the playoff environment?
I could. It wouldn't be pretty.
It would not be pretty. But he's out, so he's not even going to be in factor in this series. I don't know, man. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this series, man? Both teams are dealing with some injuries a little bit. But, we all expect them to play for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on the injury report, Ben Simmons is definitely just out for the season. So, yeah.
I mean, I love.
I was gonna say I won't be disrespectful. I don't want to be disrespectful though. You go ahead.
I love that the Nets have still had this level of success post KD, post Kyrie, and I love what Mikal Bridges has been doing. Yeah. Just showcasing his talent, that he's more than just another role player. Been having some big games. Had a big game against Miami that I was like, dang, this dude's going crazy. But like them a lot. I like that. I like the underdog. Of course, I like the guys that everybody counts out sometimes. But it's Philly's series to lose. Like they have
agreed.
They have the better roster. They have the better players. They have an MVP caliber player, all-star caliber player, and James Harden as well. Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, like they have a squad, and they have the home court advantage. I fully expect them to go forward and move on past the Nets. And it's no knock to the Nets. I like I said, I like Spencer Dinwiddie. I like Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Cameron Thomas. Excuse me. Yeah. And I think they'll be a good team, and they can probably put something together. But looking at the Sixers, this team is just too stacked. It's going to be an interesting matchup with Claxton versus Embiid. I look forward to that battle, but I really don't think that they have the talent like that match for match to be able to really impact this series. I'm not saying they're gonna get swept, but I could see them this being a fairly quick series unless Mikal Bridges just emerges as a superstar, and he's taking some steps, but I don't know if he's ready. I don't know if he's there yet to carry a team like this.
True. Cam Thomas too. I could say the same thing about him.
Yeah, Cam Thomas.
Yeah, that's how I was trying to think. I don't want to be disrespectful because I'm like, I'm pretty sure we both think The Sixers are going to win this series. It's just about a matter of how many games. I think the Nets will be a tough. I don't think they would be swept either. My prediction is like Sixers in 6. I give the Nets 2 games because I love how how the roster is. They have so many wings that can stretch the floor and defend. And they also got Dorian Finney-Smith. So that's what I'm saying. I think they can put up a good fight. It won't be easy games. Like I don't think these games just be blowouts like that. So may have a couple blowouts here and there from the Sixers. I don't know, but I say Sixers in 6. And the Sixers have won all 4 matchups in the regular season. Although we can take that with a grain of salt because we never know the factors within these games. You know, like what the rosters looking like, you know, etc. But yeah, we both got the Sixers. I say in 6. How many games you give them?
I'm gonna say the Sixers in 5, and there's no disrespect to Brooklyn. I give them 1, man. I just don't. I don't see them lasting that long in a series unless someone just goes off, and plus the combination of some Sixers mental lapses.
Yeah, especially Denver is gonna have something to prove too. Like, you know,
yeah,
with this little Twitter stuff. So I feel like he'll give us something. Yep. All right.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see. Moving on to another series in the East. We have the Hawks and the Celtics. Again, I don't want to be disrespectful to these teams, so I'm trying to give an objective analysis.
No.
All right. The Hawks can make this they could potentially make this an interesting series. Potentially. They showed us what Sadiq Bey, DeJounte Murray, of course Trey Young. The series relies on Trey Young, honestly. For me.
Yep.
Will Trey Young be that superstar franchise player in this series to give yourselves a chance? He'll just have to show us. Me right now, I'm thinking no. Because I just have that much more trust in the Celtics and what they can do, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and then Marcus Smart, and within that squad. So at the end of the day, for me, no disrespect, yeah, I ain't gonna get swept. I'm gonna give y'all a gentleman's sweep though. So
okay,
I say Celtics in 5. Celtics in 5. I don't know. What you thinking about it?
I agree with you in some ways, but honestly, I think this will be a good test for the Celtics.
How?
When I look at the bigs that Atlanta has, and Capella, and I can't pronounce his name, Ogunbowale, maybe.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Him, John Collins, Sadiq Bey, these 4/5 guys that they have.
You not know who's on the Celtics?
Al Horford, Robert Williams.
Yes.
I know. But this is the thing. Robert Williams has historically had injury issues or just health issues. I know he's probably been managing that this, second half of the season so far. But I think that these young Hawks, and with the addition of DeJounte Murray, makes the matchup a little more interesting. I'm going to put it that way. I'm not saying that the Celtics are going to lose to them. I think the Celtics win the series, but I'm going to give them a little bit of an edge because I feel like Sadiq Bey could be an impactful player. DeJounte Murray versus Jaylen Brown, I think, would be an interesting back and forth potentially. Defensively, it's going to be interesting for sure. And honestly, to me, this is just like, can they focus? Because they've had, a long break with them waiting on whoever they're going to play. Is Tatum going to be? Tatum didn't have the best
It was just the
post All
finals.
Star break,
It was just fine. Oh, it's on post All Star break. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
right? You
yeah.
know,
Because he was on the MVP train for a second. Then
he
fell
kind of
off.
slid off of that for a minute. So I'm like, all right, is he back like focused, ready to go? Are these guys, you know, because I feel like sometimes when you get that higher seed, you got this little break, you can kind of, and I feel like the Celtics just kind of can go out of it sometimes. So I want to see if they stay locked in. But I'm not. I think they're gonna win it. They're obviously the better
All
team.
right.
And
How many? All right. How many games you give him?
I'm gonna say the Celtics win in 6.
Ain't that something? But you don't get the Sixers and okay. All right. Okay. Don't you agree for them to even win the game, Trae Young has to like go off?
Yeah.
Do you think he can go off? Do you think he can go off against the likes of he could be switched on to Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon? It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
The matchup is hard. That's why I say I don't think. That's why my respect for them is giving them a game. That's why I'm like, it's hard for me to even see that. Like I'm giving them a game. That's why I'm like in 5. So it's like with all these pieces that the Celtics have to deploy on defense, it's like it's hard for me to see it. The matchup's too much.
I think that, I mean, obviously Trey is gonna struggle with the size and strength of Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Tatum at times, but just like he did against Miami, he found other ways. He still was scoring, and I think that he still, even though they haven't been good this season, to me they haven't really been good. He struggled, but in some ways he's able to bring out his best performances, and I feel like even if he's not exactly scoring 30-40 points, he can make an impact by being the facilitator and then allowing other guys to get involved, which kind of elevates their team. But I'm not gonna say that he's gonna be like, oh, he's gonna take them to the next round or anything. I'm just saying that he can. He's still a capable guard. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying he's not capable. I'm just telling this matchup is a bad matchup. Like it's gonna be hard. Like again, the Celtics have the ability to switch everything they want to, based on the personnel they put on the floor.
Yeah.
Now I ain't gonna lie. Jimmy Butler was not guarding Trae Young as the primary defender in that whole game to playing. Right.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. But for the Celtics, they don't have to do it either. But whoever he gets switched on, it'll be a capable defender who can defend the perimeter. Like that's the main difference. And 2, the Heat, it was like y'all knew y'all had a defense just by where the scoring was coming from, and I didn't think about that in our previous talks about it. Right. This game, I can definitely rely on scoring from someone, from at least if it's not Jason Tatum, at least Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Like one of the two, like that's it. So and your home court advantage. I mean, for the series, so it's like okay, it's like a
yeah.
I
don't disagree with you. I just feel that in the momentum of things, how the game is called, and just like Jimmy Butler said, even though he wasn't the primary defender on Trae Young, depending on how aggressively or how physical the game is and how the refs call it, Trae Young could benefit and could use that.
Yeah, that's true. If the refs do those ticky-tack stuff, yeah, you're right.
And then if Jaylen Brown and Tatum get into foul trouble, and with these other guys like a DeJounte Murray who can cause havoc on defense, he uses length to get steals, kind of frustrate these guys. He's a talker. Can they stay focused, and then can they play the right way? Can they play without fouling? And if the ref is kind of giving a momentum boost in ways by the way they call the game, those are impacts. So I feel like Trae Young, being the type of player that he is, obviously he's not physically going to be able to match up with these guys every night. So I know they're going to be, I think the Celtics win it. but I give them 2 games because I feel like Trae Young is smart enough to find a way to manipulate the way the game is going.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
I got you. But at the end of the day, y'all have our
You got
predictions. Like we're just trying to see who's. I was trying to see I get involved to my side a little bit more. We'll see.
Yeah.
another another matchup in the East. We have the New York Knicks. New York basketball's in the playoffs again, man. That's cool. And you also have the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right. And this matchup, we'll see Donovan Mitchell going against Jalen Brunson, man. It's be nice. Stephen A's been saying all season, he's like, y'all better not let Donovan Mitchell eliminate y'all in the playoffs, man. Stephen A been saying that all season, and I totally get it. It's funny, man, to get beat by the dude y'all could have got in the off season. It's tough. I see this as a grinded out series, man. This gonna be a good series right here. Both teams stacked. It's gonna be good. I'll let you go first though. What do you think about the series?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I feel like it's gonna be probably one of the more interesting series in the Eastern Conference for sure.
Yep.
And I personally think Cleveland will advance. And overall, I think their defensive presence is going to be affecting. And this is also a big factor too. Julius Randle missed the last few games with injury, and I think he's looking to return hopefully on for this next game. But I don't know how he's going to look. I don't know if he's going to be 100%, and if he's even going to actually play. But I do think the Knicks have still a very good team. I can really see them taking this game, making it a dogfight. Jalen Brunson, I think, is going to be great. He was terrific last year in the playoffs, so I think he's going to be able to build on that. They have Josh Hart. They have Quickly. They have a lot of good pieces, man. RJ Barrett still, so they have a talented squad. Unfortunately, I can't see them getting out of the first round. Cavs are just so talented with obviously Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Mobley. These guys are stacked. I'm gonna say that if Julius Randle is not really available like that, I think the Cavs can win it in 6. If Julius Randle is back and really good to go, this could be a 7-game series. But I think the Cavs are going to advance.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's going to be a 7-game series. Right now, I was trying to see. Right now, it says he's out, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen any official news yet because we know he was out from that last game in the regular season, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say Cleveland Cavaliers in 7-game series. It's gonna be a really exciting series, man. But the Cavs take it, and it could be just the home court advantage. You know, if Knicks at home, maybe I would have said Knicks. It's just gonna be that type. It'll be that type of series for me. It's that close. These two good matchups on both ends. Like, it's a good matchup. Like, it's about even. It's a good matchup for sure. And who's gonna show up? It's all about who's gonna show up in this moment. So we've seen Julius Randle not show up in times. You know.
Yeah.
But I feel like it will. You've seen RJ Barrett, not show up, but we'll see. I feel like it'll be a great series. So, I have nothing else really to add there. It's good. You broke it down really, really nicely. That's good.
Appreciate it, dog.
Yeah, man. That's good. The last series we're gonna cover for part 1 of our playoff preview. We have the Warriors and the Kings. The Kings are back in the playoffs, man. Apparently they sold out tickets, man. That place is gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild, man. I'm excited to see it. Sacramento,
17 years in the making, dog. 17
17
years.
years.
They hadn't been in the playoffs since 2006.
God. Right now, they're favored by one right now to win the game tomorrow. But as far as the series, I feel like most people are gonna pick the Warriors. I feel like most people are, but oh no. Oh no, man. You got De'Aaron Fox, one of the most clutchest players all season. Clutch player of the year, right? I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Clutch player of
Sabonis.
the year. Sabonis. I'm Mike. You got Mike Brown. Who knows the Warrior system?
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
He knows Steve Kerr. He knows what they're gonna do. So that gives you an entire advantage right there.
Yeah.
And the Warriors have not been great on the road. That's been a narrative all season. They've been terrible on the road. So
It's true.
with and without Steph Curry. The difference right now, Andrew Wiggins is back. And a lot of people are putting stock into him. True, and Wiggins was a factor in the playoffs last year, especially in the finals. He showed up in a huge way. Right?
Absolutely.
But is that enough to fix all the issues that we've been seeing and the habits that we've been seeing throughout the course of the season? I don't know. Can they literally flip a switch to turn it on? I don't know. It's like, I think we can give them the benefit of the doubt. We can. But there's a reason that they literally fought at the last minute to get into the playoffs. Like, for real. There's a reason for that. We all thought the Kings would eventually slide back down, but they never did. They showed up. And yeah, I even though the Warriors won the head-to-head matchup, I know they won the head-to-head matchup.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I actually want to say this or not.
Say what you feel, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I actually want to say
To be
this
known.
because it's like part of me. It's like something in me is not letting me say it. Like, okay, it's like, would I be surprised if the Warriors lose? No.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb, man. I'm gonna go for the Kings. I'll say Kings.
Okay.
And it's gonna be. I don't be disrespectful this way either. I say Kings in 6, but I'm gonna say Kings in 7.
Oh man.
No, I'm gonna say Kings in 7. Because they're
Kings
so trash on the road. That's the thing, man.
They have not had a good road record this year.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I'll be at least giving that. Like, yeah, I'll say Kings in 7.
Okay. Okay.
I'm so against the grain for everybody to hear that. But
I'm not mad at that, though. I'm honestly not mad at that. I too am just I'm excited for this series. I'm really excited for the Kings because, like I said, it's been a long time since we've seen them in the playoffs, and for them to have home court advantage in today's NBA, like when we started talking about the Kings earlier in the season, early in the season, we're like, oh, they're gonna be the Kings. They're just gonna be a team in the NBA, but these guys were one of the best teams to watch, like really like locked in this year, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for De'Aaron Fox, who's been out there for years, man, just playing, trying to get there. But he's there. He's got a squad. I think they're gonna put on a show. I hope they put on a show for these fans. That's gonna be dope. But I think it's gonna be a tough series to win, even with how the Warriors have struggled on the road. And this is why. Even though they have Mike Brown, who knows the system, they have good players and Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox.
I like the depth. Keegan Murray.
Like they have a
good rookie. Yeah, I like him.
They have a really good team, and they can build on their success from this season as well, I think. But when I look at the Warriors, and even though they've had some issues, they've had some problems, They've had a lot of guys out at different points in the season. With them having Wiggins back, that makes a difference. I'm not going to say he's going to push them over the edge. But what I will say is that this Kings team is still very young. They really haven't. I don't know if they have anyone who's really had playoff experience besides their coach. And even though Mike Brown knows the system, it's hard to really like stop Steph Curry and Klay Thompson from getting these shots, because you know they're going off these screens. But what happens? They're still getting to these shots. They're still getting the most open looks for most of the time that they get shots. So the experience with the Warriors, I can't deny. They just came off a championship as well. They're really still in that type of mindset where I think they know that they can turn it on. They probably should have done that during the regular season, but I think that they have enough still to at least advance. I think the Warriors are a dangerous squad in the playoffs. Like the Warriors playoffs versus regular season, they're just a little more locked in than a lot of teams. So I'm still gonna say Warriors, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be at least 6, probably 7 games, because I like the Kings squad, and I root for them too, because I would love to see the story of how they went from not making the playoffs for years, being the number 3 seed, and potentially knocking off the reigning champs. That would be a crazy story, but I can't deny the greatness of the greats of Steph and Klay, Dre. They got one of the best two-way players in not Jordan Poole, but Andrew Wiggins, and Jordan Poole is also a factor. So I think they.
Let me throw this at you though.
Okay.
Wiggins just came back. Do you think he had time to adjust to the proper conditioning to come back and play in a playoff game, which is like heightened and more intense? Do you think he has enough? Do you think he's conditioned enough for that? Because he was out for a long time.
Yeah.
That is a factor. It takes some time to adjust.
Yeah.
That's point number 1. Point 2, real quick.
Hmm?
We've seen Steph Curry have 50-point games and lose.
Yeah.
We've seen that this season. So I'm just saying, they can score all you want, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like their defense.
Yeah.
It's just defense, man. So
yeah, I have no doubt that they're gonna have a hard time stopping De'Aaron Fox from getting in the lane. Sabonis is also a master of playmaking with the ball. So defensively, it's gonna be interesting to see how they adjust. But to answer your point about Wiggins, he has been working out even though he's been out away from the team. I know that he's been conditioning at least. I don't know how much or where he is with it.
But we both know it's like a difference. You can work out, but it's a difference like in like the, in game.
Yeah.
In game condition. So, and then the playoff atmosphere like that, I don't know. I don't know if he has enough time. But again, they could have been having some high intense practices, and I never know. I don't know what they're doing right now. So maybe we could see. Now just those 2 things. I'm just putting it out there.
Hey, those are good points.
So you still on your same stance? Then
I'm gonna say Warriors in 7. I'm sticking with Warriors in 7 because I feel like it's gonna be a hard fought series, no matter what. And like you said, the Warriors do have some holes that they have needed to fill. They haven't really gotten that second half of the season. So it's going to be interesting. But I think they have that championship DNA. They just have the experience over these guys. And I feel like if you go into this as a young Kings team, feeling yourself number 3 seed, we can beat these guys, whatever, they can't play defense. The playoffs are different. That experience, that momentum can change quickly.
True.
So I can't deny the champs. I can't deny.
I hear you on that too, but at the same time, I feel like everyone's picking the Warriors. You don't think the Kings feel some type of way about that too? That gives them
As
an
they
extra
should.
chip on their shoulder. Like
As
I
they
feel like
should.
that's gonna motivate them even more. So, I mean, it's very true. I'll say this though. Part of me picking this is because I don't believe, at least I haven't seen. This is the same Warriors team that we saw last year. Jordan Poole is not the Jordan Poole last year. Like you've seen that. Klay Thompson's not the Klay Thompson of last year. He had some good showings this past season, but like reminiscent of like old Klay.
Yep.
Prime Klay, but yes, man. And Draymond Green, not been the same Draymond Green, I could argue, for the past couple seasons. So like, those are some of your core pieces.
Yeah.
And I ain't get started on Kuminga. He had a nice end to the season this past season. Like, he had a nice end into it. But still, is that someone you can really rely on like that? I trust Steph Curry. I'm not saying this. I'm not picking the Kings because of I don't believe Steph Curry doing his thing. Like, I believe Steph will do his thing. That's the one person I can't rely on. It's everybody else I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't know. If Jordan Poole shows up and does his thing, and Klay Thompson, I'm like, okay, yeah, Kings, y'all ain't got a shot. Like, it'll probably be a sweep. Like, but because I haven't seen that this season, that's why I'm like, the Kings have a shot, and they can actually win it. So that's why I'm picking.
That was a shot. Yeah.
That's always that's true. But it'd be different. It was like a Warriors team last
Absolutely.
year. Everybody would be like, yeah, they about this one.
Absolutely.
They wouldn't even be in this position. They'll be in like a higher seed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the main reason. And if they show up, I'd be like, okay, it's that type of series. I'm wrong. So, but I just don't see it. I don't think Wiggins is going to be that much of a factor early in the series. If the Kings can catch him early and win one game on the road, that's it. That's a wrap for me. Even they don't win the game on the road, they got home court advantage.
True.
So it's like the math works for me too. So it's like we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Just gotta see. Well,
cool.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast. We just went over the reaction to the play-in. This was part 1 of our playoff preview. We'll do another part. We'll release that very soon. But enjoy these games on tomorrow. Well, now today. At this point, on April 15th, we'll be watching these games with y'all, and we're excited to react to these playoff series, man. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Shout out to my guy D Brown checking out the live with us. He said Warriors in 6. He's a Warriors fan, I already know. So
okay. No offense, man.
We'll see.
It was hard for me to even say that. I ain't gonna lie. It was hard for me to say that.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see. We appreciate y'all, man. We'll let y'all know when we do another live too. So
absolutely.
Join in on the discussion. And hopefully it'll be earlier. These playoff games won't go this late anymore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the late night game, West Coast stuff, but it's all good.
Yep. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
See you.
Peace.